Man, we have this chick here, this Asian chick, in her early 30s, I presume. She's going to put a question out there. Where are the men? Why can I find any men? Where they at? My friends are nines and tens, but we can't find them. You get the gist. But let's hear it from her.
If you're a man in your 30s and you're single and you live in New York or San Francisco, please stay. Everyone else can swipe up. Great. Now that I have the attention of the people that I need, I have a question for you. So we are in our 30s. See, there's a group of us. We're all single. I would say all my friends are pretty much like 9 out of 10. Great in all sorts of ways. Hot, stunning, beautiful, great personality, and great jobs. But single as a Pringle. And a lot of us think that the men in New York are just exponentially better. But then on TikTok, it's like New York men are equally as bad as SF men. But here's the problem with men. They feel really one note. Everyone is a software engineer. Everyone's in tech. Everyone's like quite vanilla. They don't really have high or any EQ. And like the conversations just feel like I'm going to pluck my eyeballs out. It's either like these men want to get married tomorrow or like don't know how to date. And it's just like, well, where's the normal people? The normal men. So I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments, but I am curious. Are the men in New York better? Is this true? And if so, what are the pros and cons of dating in either of the cities? It's just been unsuccessful, for lack of better words. It's been a minus out here. And as someone who's lived in many cities, I lived in Boston, Chicago, Kansas City, LA, I feel like there should be like the biggest, highest percentage of success in SF, but it's been the opposite. So tell me more.
Hold on for a sec. Hold on for a second. I got the perfect picture for her. Actually, nah. You want let's replay real quick. I wanted to pause it at the part where she says we're all nines and tens.
If you're a man in your 30s and you're single and you live in New York or San Francisco, please stay. Everyone else can swipe up. Great. Now that I have the attention of the people that I need, I have a question for you. So we are in our 30s. See, there's a group of us. We're all single. I would say all my friends are pretty much like 9 out of 10. Great.
What? That's the part I wanted to pause at. She said, "There's a group of us. We're all in our 30s. That now already. That's as soon as you say that, technically that's strike one." Oh, my bad. I hit it twice, but technically that is two strikes, but that's already strike one. Number two, she's talking about we all nines and tens. We now I know good and damn well with her face looking like half a set from the Kabuki twins from the Batman series. But I digress. Let me not be too mean here. But she needs to stop. And that's the problem. There's this account on Twitter where he put like two pictures. It's like one of a chopped chick and one of a fairly attractive chick. And he said, if once you understand these two same women are both chasing the same exact man, then you'll understand what's wrong with the dating market. So yeah, most chicks they're just told, just you're a 9, you're a 10, you're 9, we're all 10s and 9s. 9 on a bad day, but we're all 10s. So because we're 10s, we all deserve 10s as well. And they can look like this. No disrespect. I would say she's like, I'm not saying I wouldn't smash, but she's a solid she a solid 5. She a solid 5. Let me look at her profile real quick. Let's look at her profile. So yeah, yes, with makeup, a strong 6. But yeah, on the Cole, the Cole side of the game, the Cole from Avatar, the face stealer. Anyways, let me stop. Let me stop. But this is a 5. This is a 5. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about, man. This is a 5.
Say all my friends are pretty much like 9 out of 10. Great in all sorts of ways. Hot, stunning, beautiful, great personality.
Cap. And I better not see no fat bitches in your friend group. Talking about we all 9s and 10s. Stop lying, man. Stop. These hoes be chopped.
And great jobs, but single as a Pringle. And a lot of us think.
And she said great jobs. That has nothing to do with attraction. Stop it. So I already know they're fat. Some of them are fat. There's no way you got 9s and 10s in your friend group.
And great jobs, but single as a Pringle. And a lot of us think that the men in New York are just exponentially better. But then on
Oh, so that's what she thinks. She thinks because the dating market isn't good in San Francisco, it's going to be better in New York. In any big city, you're going to struggle. So I don't know. Oh Lord.
TikTok, it's like New York men are equally as bad as SF men. But here's the problem with men. They feel really one note. Everyone is a software engineer. Everyone's in tech. Everyone's like quite vanilla. They don't really have high or any EQ. And like the conversations just feel like I'm going to pluck my eyeballs out. It's either like these men want to get married tomorrow or like don't know how to date. And it's just like, well, where's the normal people? The normal men.
Those are normal people. In fact, these are better than normal people. You have oh, these men they're either only into tech or they just don't do anything for themselves. What are you talking about? They got a job. Oh my goodness. What is she complaining about? This is why you can't date chicks that like dated like unruly men in the past or drug dealers or criminals. This is a woman clearly who who her excitement comes from dating red flags, because I'm looking for the red flag in these so-called San Francisco men that she's talking about. Now, maybe she doesn't want to say it. Maybe she's been coming across a lot of closeted men or men that look like that they could be rainbow, but she can't say that because it would make her look, not politically correct. But if it's not that, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. She's complaining about nothing. Literally nothing. While she herself is mid. If she were to find a guy in that career field or whatever, she should lock in with that guy if he's showing real interest as soon as possible. I don't know why she's going to wait until she gets older and older and she gets more wrinkly and older. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know where these hoes be getting there. I really hope they're not getting their dating advice solely from TikTok or their life advice solely from their miserable work friends or older female relatives and stuff. Like this is getting insane here.
Men. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate in the comments, but I am curious. Are the men in New York better? Is this true?
She said, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments. You think?
And if so, what are the pros and cons of dating in either of the cities? It's just been unsuccessful, for lack of better words. It's been a minus out here.
It shouldn't be, because you would think more numbers, you have more chances to find the man that you're looking for. But you already know when it comes to big cities, just in general, is usually unsuccessful, particularly on the women's side, because they're usually looking for something that doesn't exist. And then there's this, what we call a paradox of choice, which shouldn't really be a thing, but for women it is. So they end up just shooting themselves in the foot, not looking for regular characteristics. She says she wants a normal guy, but they're right in front of her, and she wants nothing to do with them. She thinks they're boring.
As someone who's lived in many cities, I lived in Boston, Chicago, Kansas City, LA. I feel like there should be.
So she already exposing herself. She's living in all these big cities, and she still can't find nobody. I think it's a you problem, ma'am.
Be like the biggest, highest percentage of success in SF, but it's been the opposite. So tell me more.
Tell you more. Tell you more. I'm pretty sure people have told her that she is the problem. But let's look at the comments section. Let's look at the comments. One comment says, your friends are in nines. Oh, man. Oh, my bad. Let me open it up again. They said, your friends are in nines and neither are you. That's the issue. Exactly. Well, that's mainly a lot of the issue with these broads. They date out of their league. They've completely, I don't think women have, a lot of women like her, they don't realize they have completely out leveraged themselves. They haven't raised their standards. They have completely out leveraged themselves. Even the average bitch, the single moms that be talking the biggest ish on Instagram or Twitter, they completely out leverage themselves in the dating market. They become a single mom for whatever reason, and then they end up having to take. They say they're raising their standards after they become a single mom, but the actuality is they're willing to take on anybody that's willing to take her on and the child that she kept. So even if it means putting the kid in danger, she'll end up taking that man. This is why you see the statistics when it comes to products of single mothers, the abuse statistics, like it's like crazy when it comes to single mom raised kids. But women don't really care about that because they don't care about their kids. By the way, happy Mother's Day, aka happy she kept a day. Somebody said maybe you are the problem. He said the delusion starts with a 9 out of 10. Exactly. So as soon as she said, yo, my friends are 9 out of 10s, we already know who the problem is. It's you, ma'am. You're the problem. Somebody said the problem is you're a solid 6.7 out of 10 with the personality of a 5 out of 6 out of 10. That's, first of all, that's being very generous. At best, with makeup, she's a 6 out of 10, but her personality is just completely awful. Completely awful. Now, what's crazy is if she was a 4 out of 10, but if her personality was above a 5, she would have somebody. Somebody said if they all look like you, y'all ain't nines. So she exactly that's what I'm saying. And for her to say all my friends are nines and tens, she that means she probably thinks that she probably thinks she's one of the prettiest of the group. And if that's the case, that means your friends are nowhere even close. I'm talking about nowhere close. First of all, if you're a woman that's a nine or a real nine or a 10, which is rare, a 10 is rare. A woman that's a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, they don't have to go on TikTok and complain about dating. Like it's not even possible. I'm not like if you're a 9 or a 10, you don't have to go on Instagram and complain about no matter if you're in your early 30s. If you're a 9 or a 10, that's dating is not a problem. Even marriage is and marriage is completely your choice. If you're a 9 out of 10, the problem is the average broads or even the 8 out of 10s. The 8 out of 10s think they're 10 out of 10s. There's no, I don't like people using 7 out of 10. That's a cop out. Uh, the sixes think they're nines as well, and the fives have no idea that they're the average broad. Like so, the fives and the fours, the four, fives, and the sixes, they in their mind they don't think they're average. They don't think they're average. The four, fives, and the sixes. Okay, they act like they're doing you a favor. Somebody said women all call themselves nines and tens. Oh, hold on for a second. Let me zoom out to see the comment. My bad. They said women all call themselves nines and tens to think guys care about their careers. We don't. And there is a natural bell curve to attraction. You aren't all tens, but you can't tell them that. Somebody said you're all voluntarily living in a little bougie cage and you're all boring. Yeah, and the nerve to call the men with tech careers boring. And these are like your best shot at getting a husband. What in the hell are they? What is she talking about? Somebody said Delulu Chang. That's why I say like when you talking about the Americanized, when you talking about the Americanized Asian chick is deadly, bro. The Americanized Asian chick is nothing to toy with. Somebody said everyone is looking for quote unquote more without knowing what that word really means. Preach. Preach. Somebody said if you replace software engineers with finance bros, everything you said about San Francisco is an exact description of dating in New York City. That's what I was about to say. If finance bros, or the so-called finance bros, they're a lot harsher than the software engineers who you're. I don't know why she complaining about the software engineers being boring. Oh my god. I already did. I've done a couple of videos talking about the finance bros too, mind you, in New York. Somebody said nobody in New York is monogamous. Yeah, like in terms of, I'm talking about the men and the women. Nobody in New York City is monogamous. uh, Especially the guys that they want in New York City. I'm talking about she's gonna run back to San Francisco if she went to New York City. I don't know what. Yeah. She's complaining about the men being born. Oh Lord. But anyways, like I said, most of the time when you see women complaining about men or their dating problems, it's all self-inflicted, and it's something that we really should even. It's something we really even shouldn't even have to talk about or even pay attention to. But this is the world that we live in. Either way, please let me know what you think in the comment section. Is this chick Ling Ling here Delulu, or does she have a point? And let me know of your dating experiences, male or female, in San Francisco or New York City. I can speak a little bit about it in New York City, but let me know what you think in the comment section.